Hey guys, I've got something special. It's the new Stormcast Eternals limited edition Battletome. I was one of the lucky 300 to get one of these, and yeah, I thought I would do a quick look at this. So this particular limited edition comes with a nice kind of fold out cover, nice kind of gold gilt edging there, and there's also, you can just about see it there, a little kind of bookmarky thingy, whatever you call this, bookmark, that'll do. And the front cover is this glorious picture here of a Stormcast Eternal. And yeah, so you've got this really nice soft finish to this. On the back you've got like a requillary with wings there, and there's a bit of a quote at the bottom that says, "By Sigmar's will they are reforged and armed with the might of stars." So yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's a really nice solid heavy book, and you open the magnetic cover out there and you get another nice piece of artwork. I'll let you savour that for a second. So obviously there's a few bloodbound down the bottom, but the focus is on very much the Stormcast Eternals arrayed for war. And then you've got this kind of nice thing here. I believe this artwork here that you can see might be, oh no, I'm just thinking of something else. So there you go. It's a huge kind of diorama there, so that's interesting. That appears to be Sigmar's castle or whatever he's got in Azerheim. And yeah, so that's really nice to start off with. So you've got this nice big thing, and that just kind of folds over like that. So again, what this is going to be, I'm going to do a quick overview, but I'm not going to be like reviewing rules and spending too long on anything specific like that. I just want to give you an idea of what's in the Battletome. This version is no longer available, but you can get the regular version, and it's £25 at Games Workshop or £20 if you go to Gifts for Geeks or Tabletop Tyrants, my locals. And you can't really see it from there, but there you go. This is numbered 216 out of 300. So yeah, pretty happy to have got my hands on this, it must be said. So let's just have a little bit of a browse through. So the contents page is pretty stuffed there. It's 168 pages. So it's one of the bigger battle tomes or codexes that GW makes. So, you know, it just makes the price sound even better, really. So you got this nice kind of full art photography there. That one's got the Celestia Prime front and centre. Then we get into a little bit about the Stormcasts themselves. That's a bit of backstory. You've got a nice section here about Sigmar himself. The Dominion of Chaos. So this will be telling the story, no doubt, of the Realmgate Wars and how they kind of went into this world that was taken over by chaos and started to bring order back to the realms. This is the Roar of the Heavens, and there's a really cool piece of artwork there with a Stardrake versus a Bloodthirster. That's really nice. I don't know if any of these pieces of artwork have been seen before in previous Battletomes. I didn't have either of the previous Stormcast Battletomes, so this is kind of my first one, so it's pretty cool for me. So that's a nice piece of artwork there. Children of Dracothian, so these are kind of like your Dracoths and your Stardrakes. Pardon me. Hunters of the Damned. This is all about the new units. So you've got your Hunters, you've got your Knight Paladors, I think they're called. And there's also the Knight Aquila, who's kind of the leader of these guys. I just call them Chocobo Riders because it's easier. A little bit about a certain character there. Beasts of the Wild. And then you've got a bit of like, it's sort of like a timeline section, but it doesn't give you dates because the realms of the mortal realms, time doesn't necessarily work the way we expect it to, and to be honest, they like to keep it a little bit vague timeline wise. I think they've learned that because Warhammer Fantasy was stuck in the same little bit of timeline for so long. Same with 40k really, and this is just kind of giving you an idea of things. They do run in a sort of order, but it's not giving you a real time scale. This is nice. So you got some maps of a few of the realms there. Which realms are we looking at? This is the realm of... okay. I'd have to have a little proper read at that because there's a lot of stuff going on these maps. But that's pretty cool. Gives you plenty of locations. Lets you kind of get an idea of what the realms are currently looking like, and you can kind of do some nice narrative battles based on what you see there. So you can say, oh, well, actually I like this location, let's set a battle here, or I'll build a city there for my Stormcast Eternals to garrison, something like that. So this is Majesty Incarnate, so this is probably about each thing. So this is the Storm Hosts. There's a bit about how the Storm Hosts are actually laid out as a army. So you've got your Lord Commander at the top and your different chambers as well. Interestingly, we've seen a number of chambers, but there's also a few we haven't seen there. There's the Sacrosanct Chamber, Ruination Chamber, Covenant Chamber, and Logister Chamber. Those ones have not been opened yet. We've got the Exemplar, the Warrior, the Harbinger, Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber, that's your newest one, and the Extremist Chamber there, which is the release of the Star Drakes and the Dracothian Guard. So only time will tell what's in these future chambers that's yet to come. So that's something to look forward to in future releases. We've got about the Strike Chambers, Extremist, Vanguard, so yeah, that's about each individual chamber. Nice section here about the weaponry of the Storm Hosts. The Raiment of War, so this is about all the different kind of parts of the armour. Then you get to the individual units, so Celestant Prime, Lord Celestants, then the different leader units. There's quite a lot of leaders for the Stormcasts. They've got loads of choice, obviously being the poster boys. Wrath of the Striking Storm. So, yeah, Drakesworn, Templars. The artwork is just absolutely beautiful in this book. Look at that. So, yeah, Dracothian Guard, Lord Aquilors, and Vanguard Paladors, Vanguard Hunters, Vanguard Raptors, and Heraldry of the Host. So this is kind of like your painting guide section, giving you an idea of how to do your markings and how the colourings work. So there you've got some of the different Storm Hosts. Mine in particular here being these Celestial Vindicators. They're the ones which I've been painting most recently, but obviously you've got your Hallowed Knights, your Knights Excelsior, all those different ones there. Yeah, so it's really cool to see all these different Storm Hosts laid out. And then you get the same for the Extremist Chambers, showing you how those are painted. So there's your little divider thing there. So yeah, nice colour schemes going on here. And then the Call of Thunder. So this should be the models section, yeah. So there's some Celestial Vindicators going up against Zeech there. There's a nice big army of Extremist stuff. Here's some of the newer models, the Knight Aquila and the Paladors. And there's an absolutely huge shot there. Wow, that is crazy. And then you've got your heavy metal section as well, so that's pretty awesome. Lots of nicely painted, inspiring pictures. As you would expect from the heavy metal team, absolutely impeccable paint jobs. I like that they're showing you a lot of the different Storm Hosts that aren't just pure gold. These ones obviously are gold and black, which is a really nice colour scheme. So that's always welcome. And then we get to the allegiance abilities. So obviously there's a lot in here. This has got more allegiance abilities and more allegiance skills than any previous Battletome, including like your Sylvaneth and your Tzeentch. This kind of just blows them out of the water. Hopefully the other armies will catch up, because you don't want Stormcast to have that much of an advantage, otherwise they will just be the only army anyone plays. But only time will tell what the next Battletomes look like for the Age of Sigmar. Hopefully we'll get the Dwarden soon. That's what the rumour mill is currently sort of hinting at. Anyway, so you got battle traits, command traits, enchanted weapons, enchanted armour, magical artefacts, treasured standards, mystic light, prayers of the storm hosts. Then you've got your steeds. Even your steeds can have traits, so you've got your Dragkoths, your Star Drakes, your Grift Chargers. All of those can have their own traits. And there's a couple of battle plans as well to play out, which is always pretty fun. Battle plans are definitely where Age of Sigmar comes together. Then you got your Path to Glory. So this is all your follower tables and your different chambers, reward tables. Yep. A section about collecting a Stormcast army, including a little bit of a guide to how the chambers are organised. And then we got to the War Scroll Battalions. These are basically your formations where you use a certain number of units to fit the formation, and you get bonuses for those, and they obviously have a points cost on top of the regular models point cost, assuming you're doing it in matched play. So you've got your different chambers there, then you've got the individual kind of bits that make up a chamber. So obviously you've got here the Hammer Strike Force, which is 2 units of Paladins and a unit of Prosecutors, and you've got various other ones of those. So in fact, there's absolutely tons of various different chambers and battalions to go with. Really, it's quite impressive the way you could kind of build your army. You can choose, if you're a new collector, just choose one of these battalions and say that's going to be how I start my army, and it gives you a really nice kind of guide to starting off, giving you a nice cohesive narrative driven force that also works quite well on the tabletop. So if you're just looking at starting in these Stormcast, you could do a lot worse than just focusing on one or the other of these battalions. And then one thing I think is really exciting is that each of the storm hosts, or certain ones at least, get their own special skills as well. So once you hit a certain amount of units, you can say, okay, here we've got the Hammers of Sigmar, that's the Hallowed Knights, who are from the audio dramas, so that's pretty cool. If you follow the audio dramas, this stuff here fits really nicely with what we've already learnt about them in their audio drama series. These are the Celestial Vindicators, the ones I'm working on, and these guys are good with swords, so they get rerolls with swords, and they can add one to the attack characteristics of their warblades and stuff as well, which is really cool. You've got the Anvils of the Heldenhammer, I think those are your black and gold ones. You've got Knights Excelsior, these are the guys who are currently taking up residence in the city of Excelsis. You can find out a little bit about those in the City of Secrets book, which is well worth a read as well. So yeah, you've got all of these different chambers, loads of kind of guides on how to build your army, which is just fantastic. And finally we get to the War Scrolls, which is your individual units and how those perform in the game. So with such a wide range of models now, there's certainly no reason why anyone would build the same Stormcast army as someone else. And I think I'm going to have to come back because the memory card's full. BRB. Okay, so I'm hoping I didn't lose too much of the end of that last video, or any of it from where the memory card was full while I was filming. Assuming we're carrying on, so yeah, here we are just looking at the end of the book for the War Scrolls here. So as you can see, tons of War Scrolls, and yeah, so much choice. And you get to the end of there's your main rules of Age of Sigmar. So again, if you want to play Age of Sigmar, you can just buy this book and a Stormcast, a couple of Stormcast kits, or a start collecting box. You've got everything you need to start playing the game, which is absolutely awesome. So you've got your pages of rules there, and lastly is your points. So obviously your match play points aren't on the War Scrolls, they're all in this section here. And like with all the other ones so far, you don't pay per model, you pay per chunk of models. So you pay per 5 Liberators or 5 Retributors or what have you. So yeah, that's a little guide to the book, and there's pretty cool. Look at that. I think that's, if you've read Wardens of the Everqueen, that I think is a reforged Chaos Lord who becomes one of Sigmar's main kind of heroes after he gets the chaos basically punched out of him by Galmaraz, the Warhammer of Sigmar. So that's pretty cool. Sorry if that's a spoiler. And yeah, so I think this is an absolutely awesome book. It's going to be a real joy to read through and learn more about the Stormcasts, especially now that the storyline has progressed. And I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little video and overview, and I'll be back soon with some unboxings. Bye!